The rain in Spain stays mainly in the...
Step by step through the sun and rain, over mountains, across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.
Day 28. It's a cold start this morning, walking from Mansilla de la Mulas to León. 19 kilometres today. We've just passed another waymarker. Chan, how many kilometres do we have to go to Santiago de Compostela?
We have 329.5.
Yeah, that 0.5 is very important 0.5, isn't it? 329. It's quite amazing to think that we started with 790 kilometres and we're down into the 320s, day 28. So we're getting there. If you've been listening with us from the start, thank you. If you've just joined us for the last couple episodes, thank you also. It might sound a little bit repetitive because, Sherilyn, what are we going to do today?
Walk.
We're going to get up and we're going to walk 19, 20 kilometres. Don't want to count our chickens before they hatch, but at the end of today, we do have a rest day, so we are looking forward to that. We've got an apartment booked in León for the 2 nights, so we can have a full day tomorrow to explore a little bit, but mainly just to rest and recharge. Does it feel like 9 days ago we had a rest stop in Burgos? Does it feel shorter? Does it feel longer?
No, it doesn't feel like we had a rest stop in Burgos 9 days ago.
Really?
No.
I think the 9 days has gone very quickly.
Burgos feels like a long time ago. The 9 days has gone quick, but I don't feel like I remember that rest day very well. We've just been on the go, doing some big Ks.
What I'm finding really difficult is to remember where we were yesterday or the day before or the day before. And then when we say town names, trying to get a visual image of that town is also difficult. Is it just me? Is it just my age showing, or is this happening to you as well?
Occasionally it does, and then I'll remember something that happened or someone we met or something we said. It's usually a story or something to attach to that place. But no, you're not alone. There's been a lot of towns.
Speaking of people that we've met, overwhelmingly, everyone that we've met has been very friendly and happy and engaging.
Yes, they have. It's that camaraderie they always talk about on the Camino, that we're all in doing this together and may not be walking together, but there's a group of us that see each other on the trail and at the end of each day, and everyone's lovely.
For a few days there, actually probably for the last 9 days, we've kind of been in almost, there's been not that we've been walking with them, but there has been that group that we've come across, whether it's at the start of the day, the rest stop during the day, or at the end of the day. But we seem to lose track of a few of them yesterday.
Yeah, whether they left earlier or later, I'm sure we might see them on the trail today. Or definitely leaving León, as I know a few of them are having a rest day as well.
There's really only been one incident, and it didn't happen to us, but one incident that we've heard of that you just think, how low is that? And, it didn't happen to us and we didn't speak to the person it happened to, but it certainly moved around the group, that someone had their shoes taken.
Yeah, I'd heard about this. I'd read a few blogs before doing this and heard that your shoes, your walking sticks could go. So just to be aware of that while everyone's friendly, some things can happen. You have to make sure you keep your valuables on you and things like that.
Like, it's just absolutely the lowest of the low on a 790 kilometre walk where the most essential thing would have to be the shoes. People have walked them in, bought them carefully to fit their feet. It's the thing that's going to take them the kilometres. And for someone to take shoes, it just blows my mind how low that is for someone to do something like that.
It's a very, very low act and unfortunate. This poor person then had to grab a taxi to the next biggest town so they could go buy a new pair of shoes and had spent the day walking in Crocs, apparently.
In Crocs. Now, I struggle to go to the local shop in Crocs. I think walking a day of 20, 25 kilometres in Crocs, their feet must have just been raw by the end of it. Anyway, fingers crossed that something like that doesn't happen to us. You know, we are feeling very safe out here, but, you know, you do keep an eye on your things. When we pull up to a cafe, usually Cheryl, you and I go in and Chan sits with the items when we go in just to make sure. But in terms of the shoes, when you're staying at your own private room or apartment, you know, you got your shoes and your things inside. But we have found when we've been in the albergue style accommodation to reduce the smell in the living area, you know, they say you put your sticks here at the front door, like inside, but you put your sticks in this cupboard and put your shoes on this rack, and everyone does that. So I suppose that's where that might have taken place. Now, I've mentioned this a few times. Walking along, I'm usually listening to podcasts or the rugby league, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Australian time, there's games to be listened to. Chan's usually listening to stories in the afternoon. I suppose does the kilometres in the morning, something to look forward to, listening to stories in the afternoon. But you've barely listened to anything.
I found I haven't needed to up until halfway through the Mansilla, that 17-kilometre stretch. I think towards the end of that, I decided I needed some music. So if we have a longer stretch, sometimes now I'll put on music, but for the large majority of our walk, I haven't used anything. It's just been the river and the birds and animals around us. But when you're walking by the road by this, it's kind of nice to have something else to listen to.
You know, this morning I've been listening to the Warriors v Tigers, and I think it's the Tigers 16, the Warriors 10 at half time. After this game concludes, it will be the Broncos v the Dolphins, the Battle of Brisbane. You are a Broncos supporter. Can I suggest putting the game on and enjoying the game?
Yeah, I may do that. Be good to see how they go. I'm sure you'll update me anyway.
We've made it to León. We're not in the city centre yet. Leon's a big city, so we're on the outskirts. And this has happened, I suppose, with some bigger towns like Burgos, but also with some smaller towns where you see them off in the distance and you think you're getting close, but you've actually still got a long way to go. We've just come over the crest of the outskirts and we've just started to see where the cathedral is. So we've got a marker now about how much further we've got to go. We've got to work our way through the outer suburbs, the industrial areas and various things to make our way through to the city centre. But León, like Burgos, a major centre on the Camino path. And this is the place that we'll have our rest day.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the...
Step by step through the sun and rain, over mountains, across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.